Hey guys, it's GDKP. This is a guide for the Kingdom Transfer event that just happened in Kingshot. I did not record any of it myself. Everything being shown is from Kingshot data with a few of my own screenshots. So I will be linking the Kingshot data article in the description below. And getting into it, this first event took servers 1 to 175 and they split them into 3 groups. So the transfer groups were Group 1, Kingdoms 1 to 25. Group 2 was Kingdoms 26 to 67. And Group 3 were Kingdoms 68 to 175. These groups all had their own separate power limits, and I'll be going over those. And the event itself lasted for 7 days and was divided into 3 separate phases. So the first thing that we will go over is the limits. The description that's posted within the event is fairly vague, so I will be using information from Whiteout Survival to further elaborate this section a little bit. So the posted description says that transfers can only be made to neighboring kingdoms with similar progress, and that if a character was created a certain number of days earlier than the target kingdom, they will not be eligible to transfer to that kingdom. And seeing as I do not have access to the kingdom list or kingdom transfer interface and I was not a transfer manager, I'm limited with what is there now. So the next event we can see their explanation of all of this. And going over a simplified list from Whiteout, the server cannot be more than 90 days younger or older than the kingdom you originate from. The latest generation of heroes must be the same on both servers. And then the True Gold era buildings, available pets, and chief and hero gear must also match the server that you were trying to transfer to. So pretty much the kingdoms need to be on the same timeline. Next, we will go over kingdom status. So the kingdoms that are available for transfers will be separated between 2 groups, leading and ordinary or non-leading. Leading kingdoms are stronger servers that have a high activity, and it's decided by the total transfer score of the top 100 active players, and it will be marked with a leading tag on the list. Ordinary and non-leading kingdoms are the weaker servers and less active kingdoms. Now, leading kingdoms have a transfer cap of 30 players, and they don't get any special invites. And a special invite will allow a player to be invited while ignoring the power cap for the kingdom. Non-leading kingdoms have a transfer cap of 55 players plus 3 special invites. So as I stated at the beginning of the video, this event is divided into 3 phases. Starting off is phase 1, which is the pre-transfer phase, and this phase is primarily for the transfer managers, where the manager is able to set the power cap for governors interested in transferring. This is also when transfer chat opens up and the managers can advertise their kingdoms and get ready to invite people, or you can use it to look for a new kingdom yourself. Now, transfer power is calculated by adding your governor's power, injured soldiers' power in the infirmary, and reserves power in the enlistment office together. Now, to me, what that means is your total power overall. And if your power exceeds the power cap, you will not be able to freely transfer to that kingdom. For example, I had to drop 380 million power in order to transfer to the kingdom that I wanted to. Now, what determines the transfer manager? This position is automatically determined, and it's given to the king of the kingdom at the start of the event. Now, if your kingdom doesn't have a king, such as if you're going through KVK and you're invaded, the position's then filled by the previous king, and they're able to transfer the role to any alliance member, but only once. So overall, this is the time to find a place that you think you could be comfortable in and you will enjoy playing the game. Phase 2 is the invitation transfers. During this phase, transfer managers can invite governors early through ordinary or special invites. Ordinary invites can be issued by the managers to anyone meeting the kingdom's transfer power cap. Now, special invites can be issued by the managers to governors exceeding the power cap. The kingdoms that receive special invites begin with 3, and 1 will be returned on the first of every month. So here's an example of transfer power and receiving an invitation during phase 2. I'm at 435.5 million power, and the power cap for a leading kingdom in my group is 84.5 million, which I was looking at going to Kingdom 90, which is a leading kingdom. Now, this is not the total power I dropped from, as we had just finished KVK at the time, but I needed to drop below 84.5 million in order to be able to receive an ordinary invite and be able to transfer during phase 2. Now, the last screenshot is of my governor profile when I was at my lowest power, and I was able to accept that invite on the day of phase 2 and be one of the first people that was able to get into the kingdom during this phase. Now, for the final phase, or phase 3, is when transfers open up for anyone that did not receive an early invite. This allows them to join the kingdom that they want as long as they meet the power cap. However, governors that exceed the power cap are still able to be exempt through special invitations. Now, the power differential between the kingdoms during the event dictate that a certain number of governors will be allowed to transfer into each type of kingdom. So, as stated earlier, leading kingdoms can accept only up to 30 players, while non-leading kingdoms can accept up to 55, plus their 3 special invitations, because special invitations do not go towards the invitation cap. Now, with the remaining spots available, governors can transfer into the kingdom as long as they meet the requirements, which are the same as the early invitation requirements. So, not exceeding the power cap, you meet the required town center level, you're not in combat, you're not in an alliance, you're not a transfer manager or king, and more than 25 days have passed since your last transfer. That, and you have fewer than 4 characters in the targeted kingdom. Now, transfer cost is where I'm receiving a majority of questions at. Your transfer cost is going to be determined by your transfer score, and that's your overall battle strength or the things that improve your stats. So this is your current town center level, your governor gear, your charms, your hero power, your hero gear, and then your pet power. Your troops do not play a part in determining your transfer cost at all. The only thing that troops count towards is meeting the power cap to transfer to the kingdom that you want to. And the higher that your score is compared to the kingdom transfer rating, the more transfer passes will be required. And this means moving away from a leading kingdom is cheaper than moving away from a non-leading kingdom. It's also impossible to calculate the amount of passes needed to transfer. However, free-to-play players should pretty much stick around 10 transfer tickets. So, for example, for me to transfer from 68, which was a non-leading state, to 90, which was leading, at my current stat level cost me 45 transfer tickets. My troops did not play a part in that whatsoever. However, I did have to kill off my troops in order to meet the power cap. So when you do transfer, your town's going to be randomly teleported into the new kingdom, and you're going to be shielded for 24 hours. That and anything from your prior kingdom is going to be reset, so your group chats and any progress on events. Now these key details will go over those events. I'm not going to read them over. You can pause the video and read them yourself. However, they're also listed on the Kingshot data website that's linked down below, and you guys can go there and check it out for yourself. So getting into the power cap for the different groups. Group 1, 170 million for non-leading, 110.5 million for leading. Group 2 was 150 million for non-leading, then 97.5 million for leading. Then finally, Group 3, the non-leading kingdoms had 130 million, and then the leadings 84.5 million. Now, the last thing that I haven't covered yet is where to get transfer passes. You can get them weekly through the Alliance shop for 150,000 Alliance tokens, or you can buy them through the regular packs. Now, those packs are listed on the Kingshot data website with the cost and how many tickets you get per pack, and I believe this should cover the rest of everything. However, if you have any questions, please leave a comment or message me on the official Kingshot Discord, which is linked below, and I'll attempt to answer them the best that I can. Thank you guys for watching.